Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing and subscribing. I hope you enjoy the insights here in the reading. It's a general reading. Take what works for you. I have shuffled and laid out the cards, so let's get going. Okay, I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, and the cards that show up in each house bring relevant energies at this time. So in the first house you have Yod, which is the finger of God, it's called, or destiny, and it's appearing in your first house, which is all to do with your body, your appearance, your personality, how you are coming across to others at this time, and how you are being perceived by others at this time. So it's the physical body as well, your vitality, your energy levels, and so on. The Yod can bring a sort of indicate a fair amount of chaos going on around you. Possibly you feel that there's a lot going on, that you're juggling a lot, and that you have almost no support in what it is you're trying to achieve going forward. And you could just be feeling a bit like you've got to carve your own path, like you've got to make your own way, you know, in your own way, and not taking into account necessarily what other people are doing. So if it's a physical regime, you know, a health regime or a sports regime that you're trying to sort out for yourself, you may need to be doing research and actually looking at things to suit you, and to come up with your own plan about how to handle perhaps a particular area of your health or your body that you're trying to work on to improve something. But you may just feel that you kind of know in yourself, in your own inner self, the way to move forward, and you're going to have to come up with your own plan and move ahead, despite what others may say or what other opinions to the contrary. It can also be that you're coming across in that way. You're coming across as being a bit different from others. You may feel slightly out of step with others. You may be feeling that you're not in the same groove as other people. You're doing your own thing. Basically. And there's a fair element of fate about this as well, whereas, you know, you kind of got, things are going to be put in your path, which you've just simply got to deal with. And so you may be coming across like that. People are perceiving you like that, that you're making your own way despite, you know, despite whatever else is going on. And you just could feel like things are a little bit, you're all over the place, and you're having to carve your own path. You're actually having to take control and move forward yourself. So, yeah, so that could just be how you're feeling currently at the moment. And it's almost like having your own coping mechanism for whatever it is that you're required to do. You may be required to be more physically present in your daily life, active physically, and it can just feel a little bit restrictive at this time. Then in your second house, you have Capricorn. I use, this is a strong earthy sign, and it's appearing in your second house, which is all to do with your income and your money coming in, your values, your self-worth, and property, land, and the environment. So Capricorn is the building sign. It's ruled by Saturn. It's the sign of social progression. It's the sign of ambition, and making use of your resources and your contacts. So you may just make a really good contact when it comes to growing your money. So whether it's an investment or some kind of system where you know, you're going to bring in a really good foundation for yourself. But it's all about that. It's all about creating a really firm foundation for yourself, something that's built to last. This is not about wishy-washy quick money making schemes. This is and it's not about rash purchases. This is about solid building of income and your ownership of things. It's about making good social contacts and using those social contacts, obviously using with integrity. Honoring the people that are going to help you and perhaps give you tips and advice or just solid leadership. So you're going to be putting systems in place for your money that's coming in, your income. And it's also about self-worth. It's about building yourself up. And you've got to build from a solid foundation, and Capricorn is all about that. There's nothing wishy-washy about them. They set their sights on a goal and they go for it. Okay, then we have in your third house, you have the Sun, the Spirit card. This is in your house of communication. This is all forms of communication. It can be contracts, any kind of written, so that's social media. If you're posting things on social media, it could be letters, any kind of written, verbal, body language, any kind of communication. And it's also, if communication is part of your working life, it's part of, perhaps you're in the media or you're working in an environment where you are required to harness good communicative abilities, then the Sun is coming in on there. It's a very positive, very fiery aspect to have in that house. It's going to bring confidence. It's going to bring a lot of warmth, and so you're going to be projecting that outwards. But it's a lot of confidence and possibly making changes as well. But it's what you're projecting outward. It's probably going to bring in sort of good times, sort of happiness, sunny times, a lighter outlook, a happier outlook. But it is also you putting your spirit into whatever it is that you are communicating about. So harnessing a really sunny, bright, positive outlook, because by doing that you influence others, and being in the third house, which is the house of communication, you are going to influence others. So make sure that you're harnessing those abilities, those aspects for yourself. And then in the fourth house we have Saturn return, which is all to do with wisdom, maturity, and responsibility. So you could be, the fourth house is your house of home. It's also to do with your roots, your family, and your ethnic identity. So you could be feeling a little bit restrictive at this time. In those areas of your life, perhaps in your home. Perhaps you are actually rebuilding something, or you've taken on something which requires construction, or you're busy building something up, whether it's symbolically or physically. Saturn return is all about building a strong foundation. So if you're trying to create something in your home and it's on a wobbly foundation, Saturn's going to smash it down and you're going to have to start all over again. Or it could just be that you're feeling restricted in your home. Perhaps there are things you want to do and you just simply can't do it. But it's also, Saturn is the master of time. So this, whatever you're trying to do in your home, it's not going to happen overnight. This is going to be a slow building process, and it's going to require, you've got to bring wisdom, you've got to bring maturity, and you've got to bring responsibility in you. And there's going to be a fair amount of hard work as well. Saturn is all about that. But the ultimate goal of the influence of Saturn is to make your foundation strong, to build properly, so that you reap the benefits later on. Because if you create a strong foundation and you actually do things properly the first time around, then you receive the joy later of you start to reap the benefits of that, and it brings in a lot of harmony and a lot of pleasure and a lot of stability, and that is what the ultimate goal of Saturn is all about. So you could be also having some things come around again. You may be, because this is a return. So Saturn returns to, two major places in your life twice. And so it brings about circumstances where you've actually got to look carefully at what you're doing and harness the hard work. Actually put your shoulder to the wheel. So if it's to do with, you may be reflecting on issues from your past, your family, your foundation, your roots. You may be reassessing that and actually taking a bit of responsibility or gaining a bit of wisdom in certain areas that possibly are coming around again now for reflection again. And if it's a physical thing with your home, you may be dealing with something from the past or something old that needs to be redone, or foundations need to be laid, but there's some kind of building and restructuring going on. Then in the fifth house, you have Gemini, I think. These are the twins, and it's a twin energy, but it's also a mental energy. And this is coming into your house of children, your house of creativity, having fun, recreation of all sorts, sports, love affairs, romance, gambling, all those sorts of, light-hearted activities. And with Gemini, I think in there, if you have children, if you have twins, well then the correlation is obvious. But if you are perhaps wanting to conceive, you may conceive twins, or possibly it may be just harnessing the curious nature of children. So if you have children, you may have to harness that for yourself, actually bring that into how you're relating to them. Gemini is an air sign. Traditionally, it's ruled by Mercury. So that's all mental things, all mental faculties, quick wit, curious about everything, media, electronics, all of that. It's all about being out there, being attached to many different things happening at once. It's a lot of quick changes, lots of surface things going on. It's not deep. This is not deep. This is about being curious and interested in everything that's going on around you, the media, and literally airwaves, what is going on in your environment. If you've got children, you may find they get bored easily. And so you're going to have to sort of approach your children in that way, and bring out and have a bit of a sense of humor and be a bit more progressive when it comes to technology and so on. And also just communicate. This is all about communication, communicating with your children and so on. If you've got a creative project or you are in the creative field, then Gemini, it harnesses all the things I've just mentioned. It's all about the media, communication of all sorts, technological stuff, electronics. And you may have to if you're working on a creative project, you may have to bring that into your life or actually boost it in some way. And you may need to get your message out about what it is that you're actually creating and doing. And it's all about communication, so it covers all of that. And if it's a love affair, it's lighthearted, having fun, as I said, curious energy, getting out and about, socializing, all of those things. And you may even be attracting a Gemini person into your life. So they may be exhibiting all of those characteristics. And then in the sixth house, we have Leo, which is I will. This is Leo is ruled by the sun, and so therefore very confident, outgoing, ambitious, creative sign. And this is falling in your sixth house, which is your house of work, workplace, your colleagues, and your work projects that you're busy with. It's also the house of health and diet and your pets. So you may be getting a sort of a pet which is exhibiting Leo qualities, if you want to call it that, or it could be that you need to look at a health issue. Leo rules the heart, everything to do with the heart and the circulatory system, so there may be something coming up there for you. Or it could just be that you need to bring the Leo qualities into your daily work life. It's all about work mastery of your craft, whatever it is that you specialize in, or whatever it is you would like to specialize in. Coming in, that's Leo, which is, as I said, a sunny, confident, outgoing, ambitious sign, very creative, loves to be the center of attention, popular, and you may be asked to bring that into your work project, or you may have the spotlight on you. You may be the center of attention in whatever it is that you're doing, and handle that with grace and care, and be open and be enjoy that if it's coming to you. Or it could be that you may be having Leo type people in your work environment, and so they'll be exhibiting all those qualities, and you can learn from that. And that is important for all of us, to learn from our colleagues what they bring in, their energy that they bring in. So you may be having somebody coming in who is larger than life, who loves to be the center of attention, and will get things done, but also they may also be overly Leo-like, which can sometimes be quite arrogant and attention-seeking. Then in the 7th house, you have Venus, I love. So beautiful sign to be a planet to be having in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. This is the house of personal one-on-one relationships, committed relationships, partners, and that can be love or business. And this is very close partnerships or relationships that you have. And with Venus appearing in there, that's a wonderful thing to be having in there. You may be falling in love. You may be meeting somebody which is going to resonate with Venus for you. So it's going to be a very loving and very beautiful thing to be happening in your relationships. Or you could just be attracting somebody who is quite Venus-like. It's about falling in love, and it's about spreading love. So if you are dealing with, in your close relationships, if you don't have a particular partner, then make sure that you're bringing the qualities of Venus into your close relationships. Venus also rules, if it's a business situation that you're going into, Venus rules cosmetics, fashion, perfumes and oils and things like that, and anything beautiful, art. So art galleries, artworks, beautiful works of art, sculptures, things like that. Venus also is, the other side of Venus is money. Venus brings abundance in. It can bring windfalls. It can bring abundance of all kinds. So the money is the other aspect of it, but the main thing is love. And actually, once you project love and you bring that into your relationships or this particular sphere I'm talking about, then once you do that, you actually, if you're radiating the qualities of Venus, then you start to attract that back to you as well. So if you are falling in love, enjoy. Then we have in the 8th house, we have solar eclipse, which is revolution. This could be following on from, if you are entering into a lovely relationship here, the 8th house follows on from that, because if it's a really serious close relationship, which this normally indicates, then this may indicate further commitment, and the 8th house deals with shared resources between committed partners. So whether it's a business or a love partner. And solar eclipse revolution is quick change, and revolution speaks for itself. So you may be going through some revolution of your joint finances, or you may be entering into that now, and it's going to require you to have a really long, hard look at how you have been living and how you have been operating up to now, and how are you going to move forward. But it's maybe pressed upon you to make a quick decision and actually go forward on that. But you're going to have to relook, actually look at how things have been working and change it around. And it's a very sunny, fiery energy, so things may be very quick, things may be very sudden for you. And if it's to do with the other 8th house aspects, include sex, death, and rebirth. So it's all sexual pleasures. And if you're going into a partnership, then this can be, again, you may have to look at how you have been relating in the past, and there may be some kind of shift there for you. And it could also be the closing of one door and the opening of another, or the symbolic death of something and the rebirth of something else. So it really is a change. It's a big change. it may seem difficult at first, but you will work it out. And the eighth house also covers big finance. It covers investments, other people's money. So if you're working and you're managing other people's money, there's going to be some kind of massive shift going on there about the way you're currently doing things. You're going to change it, or you're going to be forced to change it. So you may have to look at something for a while, but then you will have to make really quite a quick decision on that. So it's big finance, taxes, investments, banking, sort of big money. It's also to do with, as I said, shared resources between partners, and it covers a great deal of development on the money front, but it's big money, like legacies, insurance, and accounting, anything like that. And it could also be going back to the relationship side, or it could even be to do with work. It can indicate some kind of ego death. So how you have been handling things before, or how you thought you should do it, is going to be changed, and you're going to have to redo. You're going to have to rethink how you're going to move forward on that.